She slashed my tire thinking I'm just a regular neighbor. She had no idea I'm a sheriff. Before watching full video, comment below from where you're watching and also subscribe. I live in a quiet, peaceful neighborhood, the kind where people mow their lawns on Sundays and wave at each other in the mornings. It's run by a strict HOA, homeowners association. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm all for keeping things clean and organized. But some people take it way too far. That's where Karen comes in. Every neighborhood has one, the self-declared rule enforcer. Karen doesn't work for the HOA, but she sure acts like she owns it. She watches everyone from behind her curtains, takes photos of trash cans that are left out too long, and once left a printed warning on my porch because my car was parked slightly over the line. Slightly. She walks around with a little notepad writing things down. No one asked her to. No one wants her to. But she does it anyway. You can't water your plants without her staring. You can't even walk your dog without her pointing out some imaginary rule you're breaking. Now here's the funny part. Karen thinks I'm just a regular guy. You see, I never bring work home. I don't wear my sheriff's uniform when I'm off duty. I dress casual, mind my own business, keep quiet. And Karen, being the nosy neighbor she is, assumes I'm just some random guy living down the street. She had no idea who I was. No idea what I do for a living. And that was her biggest mistake. Because when she decided to take things too far, and did something illegal, she didn't know she was messing with the wrong person. It was just like any other morning. I walked out of my house, coffee in one hand, keys in the other, ready to head to work. But as I got closer to my car, something didn't feel right. The car looked fine from a distance, until I noticed the front tire. Completely flat. Not just low on air, burst. Shredded. Torn like someone took a knife to it. At first I thought maybe I ran over something. A nail? A piece of glass? But then I looked closer, and that's when the confusion turned into irritation. There were marks around the tire, deep slashes way too clean to be an accident. This wasn't random. This was done on purpose. Someone slashed my tire. Now, I'm not the type to jump to conclusions, but let's be honest, I live in a quiet neighborhood. It's not the kind of place where people just vandalize cars for fun. Unless someone had a reason. And the first person that came to mind? You guessed it, Karen. She'd been giving me attitude for weeks. Complaining about where I parked, how my car looked too big for the driveway, even though it was parked perfectly fine. I brushed it off every time. But this crossed the line. Luckily, I have security cameras installed, just in case something like this ever happened. So I walked back inside, pulled up the footage, and started scrubbing through the recordings from the night before. And then, boom, there she was, Karen. In the middle of the night. Hoodie up, gloves on, looking around nervously. She creeps up to my car like a cartoon villain, pulls something out of her sleeve, some kind of sharp tool, and slashes the tire. Not once. Twice. Quick and sneaky. She looked around again, then hurried off like nothing happened. Caught. Red-handed. On camera. I paused the video and just sat there for a second. She really did it. She actually did it. And the wildest part? She still had no idea who I was. No clue she had just vandalized the vehicle of a county sheriff. That moment, right there, is when the story really begins. No yelling. No knocking on her door in anger. I just sat back, took a deep breath, and watched the video one more time, just to be sure. It was crystal clear. Her face, her hands, the tool, the moment she slashed the tire. All of it. I smiled to myself. If she thought I was going to let this slide like her usual HOA warnings, she was in for a surprise. I went to my room, opened my closet, and reached for the one thing she'd never seen me wear, my department jacket. I pinned on my badge, zipped it up, and looked in the mirror. Not as her quiet neighbor anymore. This time I was walking up to her door as a sheriff. The walk to her house was calm. No drama. Just a steady walk down the sidewalk. She was outside in her front yard, watering her plants like nothing ever happened, like she didn't just destroy private property 6 hours ago. She saw me coming and gave me that same fake smile she always gave. "Morning," she said, almost smug. I didn't smile back. I stopped a few feet away from her porch, looked her right in the eyes, and said, "Good morning, ma'am. I'm with the county sheriff's department. We need to talk about what you did to my vehicle last night." Her entire face changed. The smile vanished. Eyes wide. She dropped the hose. Literally. Water started spilling everywhere, but she didn't even notice. She blinked, trying to process what she just heard. "You're a sheriff?" she asked, voice shaking slightly. "Yes, ma'am," I replied calmly. "And I have you on camera damaging my personal property. That's a criminal offense." She stuttered. I thought." She was caught. There was no way out. She knew it. Her body language collapsed. That powerful, bossy attitude melted away in seconds. She looked like someone who just realized they messed with the wrong person. I continued, "You can either come clean, pay for the damages and issue a formal apology, or I can file charges. Your choice." Silence. Then a weak nod. "I'll pay, and I'm sorry." "I didn't know," she mumbled. I nodded once, turned around and walked back without another word. Behind me I could almost feel the weight of her regret. She didn't just slash a tire. She stepped into a world she didn't understand, and found out the hard way that I'm not someone she can bully or scare. That was the moment the power shifted. And trust me, she never looked at me the same again. Her face went pale. She didn't expect this. She thought she could sneak around at night, cause some damage and get away with it, like she always does with her fake HOA warnings and neighborhood drama. But this time it was different. She tried to play innocent at first. "What?" "No, I didn't touch your car," she said, her voice shaky but still pretending to be calm. I looked at her, firm and unbothered. "I have the footage," I said. "Front camera. Side camera. You're on both. Clear as day." She paused. Her eyes dropped to the ground. Her hands fidgeted with the edge of her shirt. "I didn't mean to. I just got so frustrated," she muttered, voice lower now. I could see it. The panic was setting in. That false confidence she always carried? Gone. Replaced by fear. Embarrassment. Regret. I didn't raise my voice. I didn't need to. I said calmly, "Look, I'm giving you a choice. You either admit what you did, pay for the damages and give me a written apology, or I take this to the department and we press criminal charges. That means court. That means a record. It's your call." She was silent for a few seconds. Then her body slumped like all the energy had left her. "I'm sorry," she whispered. "I really am. I'll pay for the tire. I'll write the apology. Just, please don't press charges." Now here's the thing, justice doesn't always mean handcuffs. Sometimes, it means letting someone sit in their own shame. She knew what she did. She thought she was above everyone. But in that moment she realized she wasn't. She realized she messed with someone who plays by the rules and enforces them. I nodded. "Fine. You've got 48 hours to fix this. After that, it's out of my hands." She nodded quickly. Yes. I'll take care of it today." And with that I walked away. No more words. No threats. No yelling. Just a quiet message that said, "You crossed a line. You won't do it again." Later that day she left an envelope at my door with $200 in it and a handwritten note. Read, "I apologize for my behavior and the damage I caused. I let my frustration control my actions. It won't happen again." No names signed. But she didn't need to. The whole neighborhood noticed the change. She stopped patrolling with her notepad. Stopped making complaints. Stopped giving people dirty looks. Sometimes people need a hard reminder that respect goes both ways. And sometimes, the quiet neighbor next door is a sheriff with cameras, patience, and the law on his side. Sometimes, life has a funny way of teaching people lessons. Karen thought she could keep pushing people around, making her own rules and treating the neighborhood like her kingdom. She never stopped to think that maybe, just maybe, the quiet guy next door wasn't so ordinary after all. And honestly, I didn't need revenge. I didn't need drama. I just needed her to understand one thing. You don't get to treat people like trash and expect zero consequences. That day she learned something the hard way. You never know who someone really is. The neighbor you gossip about might be the one who ends up knocking on your door, with a badge. She thought I was just another guy ignoring her HOA warnings. She had no clue I wear a badge for a living, that I've seen real criminals, that I know the law inside out. And the best part? I didn't even have to yell, threaten, or make a scene. I just showed her the truth and gave her a choice. She chose the smart path. Now, things in the neighborhood are different. Quieter. No more surprise notes on doors. No more side-eyeing over fences. Karen keeps to herself now and I keep sipping my coffee in peace. But this whole experience? It reminded me of something important, and maybe it'll stick with you too. Next time, don't mess with people. You never know who they really are. We live in a world where people judge quickly. By the clothes you wear, the car you drive, the way you walk down the street. But what they can't see is what's beneath the surface. And trust me, that's where the real strength is. I kept calm. I handled it right. And in the end, justice was served, not in a courtroom but right there on the front lawn. Now I want to ask you something.